find your lack of faith disturbing.
Gotcha!
Smashmouth Footballers. Introducing Nick Tate, Joe Caldero, Chad Young, Smashmouth Footballers.
Welcome to Smashmouth Footballers. I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
The Cadillac.
And guys, we are just giving you homework for the next season coming up. We're going to go from number 15 to number 6 in our countdown to the top 25 running backs. This is part 2 of a 3-part series. And we truly appreciate all the love and support you guys have been giving out to us. And we're going to go with Joe.
Are you doing your best Michael McDonald impression with that voice you got going on?
I'm trying.
I can't believe we're not in love anymore.
I fell out of love a long time ago.
I keep forgetting. That's what it is. I keep forgetting.
We're not.
Number 15, Chuba Hubbard. League winner. League winner for most people.
Can't forget him.
Yeah.
Nope.
I drafted him in the draft in almost every league that I was in. That's the reason why I don't take a kicker or a defense. I draft 6 running backs, and he was one of them. And he actually helped me a lot. He was one of my top running backs when I lost a lot of running backs this year. He played 15 games, 250 attempts, 1,195 rushing yards. That's 4.8 yards per carry. That's pretty good for a team that was in
Dire
decline.
straits.
Yeah.
10 rushing touchdowns, and a lot of those he did on his own. He didn't have any help. 43 receptions, 171 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. His only drawback, he fumbled 3 times. He had no threat behind him. You know, Miles Sanders is nobody. Miles Sanders, he's done.
He was hurt most of the year anyway.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks looks like he's gonna. I hate to say it, man, but he might have a injury issue in his career if he came back for what, 1 game?
1 game. One and a half games.
A couple, yeah. And
So what you're telling me, there's a hospital connected to this team's stadium.
Chuba is the guy on that team, and he will be this year too. So yeah, Chuba Hubbard going forward for me I'm still going to draft him next year in the later rounds, unless you guys get him now because you see the writing on the wall.
I picked him up later on in another league. Michael Barnhart, he's in a league ours. He made a trade around week 7, and going into the draft, the discussion was Jonathan Brooks coming out of Texas. I mean, Jonathan Brooks didn't see the field because Bijan Robinson. Mm-hmm. All right, so Jonathan Brooks was a great running back, but he got hurt in college, and we thought he was coming back week 7, week 8, which he did. He just got re-injured. But Michael Barnhart made a trade for Chuba Hubbard, and I don't remember who else, somebody else for Jamar Chase, and we did. He didn't know that Jonathan Brooks. He didn't know anything about that, and we clowned him every week. Like, just wait. Jamar Chase had that big 200-yard game, and we were like, let that go. Just wait. And then Jonathan Brooks hurt himself again, and then the writing was on the wall. Like, he's going to win the league because Chuba Hubbard is just going to constantly carry him because that's what they did, was ran the ball. And Chuba did so good. Even if Jonathan Brooks does come back healthy and as good as he is and was in college, they gave Chuba Hubbard an extension. So he's there.
Yeah, he's got a 4-year extension.
Yeah, he's getting paid. So
hey, look, when it's consistent, you keep it.
Yeah, and
you can't let a talent like that just walk out of the building. You cannot, especially when he was willing to compete for that starting role. He didn't think he was the guy. He was trying to prove he was the guy all season long.
It feels like Carolina's tried to do that. Like, they had Chuba, that they went and got Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders consistently stayed hurt or didn't perform, and it's been years since he was peak. It was Philadelphia since he was peak good, and Chuba just keeps carrying, and consistency is key. Mm-hmm. Like, we talked about it with Najee Harris earlier. Like Najee Harris is not a sexy pick. He's not anything but 4,000-yard seasons, right? Like,
I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, you know.
Like, we all love Mike Evans because we know we're getting 1,000 yards out of him, and if you're getting 1,000, you know you're going to get 1,000 yards out of Chuba Hubbard next year, right? If you pick him up, right?
You know, it's crazy. I was about to say that. Mike Evans is the same way as a receiver.
Yeah.
So his 3 fumbles is
nobody wants him, but they're like he scores 1,000.
Oh, yeah, you got to have him. You got to take him. But these 3 fumbles is going to knock him down into the lower bracket of running backs because of the 3 fumbles. But in the 8th, 9th, 10th round next year in the fantasy football draft, if Chuba's still there, guess what, guys?
Got it.
I don't think he's not going to last the 8th, 9th, 10th round anymore. What you saw was that Dave Canales had Carolina playing strong down the end, and they liked doing Dalton. They liked the Red Rocket because they re-signed him 2 years, so they think he was teaching Bryce something.
Yeah.
So Canales likes
team players.
What he's going on for.
They're all a bunch of team players.
Yep, and so they got a legit. Looks like they might have something in the wide receivers over there.
Yep.
All right, they got a good
Legette's good.
All right, they kind of like that. They got Chuba.
You got the old man Thielen.
Yep.
He's there to be a safety net.
Canales is a quarterback whisperer, and Bryce Young there after getting benched this year. They started playing a little ball, and they finished 3rd. They had a better season than the Saints did in that division.
Ain't that crazy?
That's insane, right? And
not really.
no, but you have to have faith that Schubert's going to go forward. I don't know, a consensus. I don't know. Maybe the 65th ADP. Maybe for me. I don't know.
You will. Stand by because we're
building draft guys right now.
Guys are going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, and just, hey, did he win any of y'all's leagues? Because he won me a league.
He won me.
Yeah, he won Michael Barnhart a league. When Michael Barnhart came in that day, bragging, and I'm like, that dude traded Jamar Chase for Chuba Hubbard and a clown, and he's going to beat us.
That's absolutely
it's
true.
about points.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to win a league with Jordan Mason and Chuba Hubbard. I'm not supposed to, but I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Consistency, gentlemen. Consistency. That is the rule of fantasy football.
Yeah, right. And that happened. And shout out to Michael Barnhart. Like, I hate giving you these props, man. And I hated all your smack talk every day, every Monday. But you did good. It was a good trade.
Hate's a strong word, man.
All right.
Dude.
I love him. He is my boy. I love him. He is my boy. But that was
Calm
pretty,
down. Use
pretty
your
ballsy
inside
trade.
voice.
Numero 14, guys.
That's on you.
This is what I got. I got James Conner. He finished on the IR, right? But we talk about consistency. All right. Going in 225, I have him as mine, just going in right now, as our draft ranking, the number 50th player going in. I would take him as soon as 42nd, which means if I'm a 10-team league, I would look at James Conner in the late 4th round. In Dynasty League, I'm taking him a little later because he's 29. You know, running backs fall when they go to 30, right? And he's 29 years old. He ended on the IR. He's always had injury concerns, and nothing happened. You know, that was the same story this year.
He's the bell cow. He never comes off the field unless you're so.
Exactly. He runs hard, and it was his first career 1,000-yard rushing year, 208 carries. He averaged 5 yards per carry. So if you got a running back and he's averaging 5 yards a carry, like, we love those numbers, right?
That's it.
I mean, consistency is key. And you knew what you were going to get, right? Like, you knew James Conner, I was going to get this. And, like, it seems funny, like, when I compare him, you know, Pittsburgh got rid of him because they wanted something flashier, and they got a cheaper James Conner.
Yep.
You know,
who to me is not as good as James Conner at the same age.
It kind of looks like that. Just a little younger, but that's it. James Conner never really catches the ball out of the backfield that much. He only had 165 yards receiving. But going forward, you know that they're going to develop the ball. You know there's going to be RPO options. You know Kyler Murray, he's mobile, but he's small. So they're going to depend on this.
I'm losing confidence in that guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I am.
So is everybody on his team.
But yeah, James Conner, Najee. When James Conner was Najee Harris's age, James Conner was the better running back. I think the Steelers kind of sorry that they let James Conner leave when they did.
No.
Well, it's not that. You know what I?
He wanted to get paid though.
You know what else? You
imagine James Conner with Jalen Warren.
Man, that'd be a way better combo.
Yeah. they'll get something out of this because, I mean, the Cardinals, they drafted a backup. He just was a little injured, and they're going to get there.
Yeah, he's going to be really hard.
Yeah, he's going to be really good when he
really
comes
good.
in. Yeah, you know what James Conner excelled in? He had 9 touchdowns. He had 7 rushing, 2 receiving. So,
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what bolstered him this season. Not only 1,000 yards.
I got 8 rushing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe that. I apologize.
rushing.
Yep, 8
8
rushing.
rushing,
Yep,
1 receiving.
1 receiving. Yep. So I apologize about those numbers. And so fantasy wise, you were getting James Conner's in there. I'm getting double-digit points, right? So, consistently, you got that. Hey, look, if you had
Rico Dowdle.
you had James Conner and you had Bucky Irving, you knew, hey, I got 20. I at least got 20, right?
It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty on paper, but
No.
it's going to get it done.
Yeah.
Wins leagues.
No, not boom or bust or anything like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's where they were falling in the draft for those numbers.
I'm super excited that now the running back is going to be very, very valuable in fantasy football, unlike the last 2 years. And then we come into this last fantasy football draft, and people weren't giving them as much value as I always do. But now they're valuable. Running backs are very valuable now.
Well, it's not only that; it's going to be more of an emphasis now. Because the college games come in, because you see RPO options, you see a lot of trickery, a lot of motion. With that, though, I mean this draft coming up deep running backs.
Deep.
I mean, and if you got running backs, you got great players, you're going to utilize them, right? You want to go to your stars, and this draft is deep in offensive linemen,
Edge rushers,
and it's deep in running backs.
Right.
This is a good draft if you want to build a solid in the trenches team. And I don't see this trend going away. I know the CeeDee Lambs and the Jamar Chases and all them, but it seems like after that round 5, there just seems to be a tremendous drop-off. It seems to be around that George Pickens area where it's all right, I'm just trying to get a touchdown here and there. Give me 100 yards or a touchdown. And if you give me both, then we'll probably win that game. But it was consistently there's no players getting a touchdown a game anymore.
Yeah, because my issue was, I need a receiver, but I love James Conner. So do I get Calvin Ridley or do I get James Conner? I'm going James Conner every time.
Yeah, you go get James Conner.
Every time.
Yeah.
He's guaranteed the ball.
Yeah, and
Every game.
So
he worked himself into a 2-year extension too, so he's going to be there.
If you take James Conner on the turn, at least in the 10-team, 12-team league, if you take him in the turn around the 5th round, at least coming up for me, I think that's perfect. And if you get him deeper, I think you got great value for what you're going. Just know there's a history of injury, and he is 29 years old. For Dynasty Leagues, he is turning 29 years old this year. So that's our take on James Conner. Who do you have?
I got Devon Achane. And I'm going to be the first to admit that I had a lot of doubt in this guy at the beginning of the season due to his injuries. So, I mean, last year and in his college years, he had a lot of injuries. He didn't sustain a large workload, even though he's really, really fast. But this year, he made it. He made it through the whole year. He played 17 games. He had 203 attempts, 907 rushing yards, 4.5 yards per carry with 6 rushing touchdowns. He had 78 receptions for 593 yards with 6 touchdowns.
Right.
So he got most of them getting passed out of the backfield. But man,
what he did in 2023 was not sustainable.
Not here, no.
This is back to earth right here.
Yep.
But it's still great.
Oh my God!
So this is what he's going to be every year.
So when Tua got hurt, this was their only option because they couldn't get the ball to any of their receivers. They didn't have any backup quarterbacks that could do anything. So Devon Achane became a monster in fantasy. He rushed for more total yards than he did in his rookie year. He wasn't nearly as efficient in year 2. In keeping with the trend set by the rest of the Dolphins' offense in 2023 and 24, Achane did close the season out on a good note with 2 100-yard rushing performances over the 3 games Miami made late playoff push.
Yeah, so they're not sure if they're going to re-sign Raheem Mostert. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's probably going to be a pretty cheap.
Man. He couldn't
stay healthy.
He couldn't stay healthy all last year.
Achane did bulk up. He put on muscle, so maybe he can sustain the beatings that he's been taking.
I'm thinking it was the 3rd game Tua was missing. He took a whooping.
The worst thing happened to him was Tua going out.
Yeah.
Tua keeps the pressure off of him. So maybe Tua can stay healthy next year.
Well, they couldn't get the ball to nobody.
I wasn't a
Tyreek
believer.
Hill, they couldn't get it to anybody.
I wasn't a believer in Achane this year. That's why I didn't draft him in any league.
I didn't either.
I'll look for him. This guy's dangerous.
I know I lost one of my games to Chad here because he had Achane. I think he had Achane and Cook that game.
Well, what I was able to do, look, I didn't like him either, just because I followed the guy at Texas A&M, and I know when he was on the field, he was electric, but he never made the field. He was always hurt, and for his rookie year, he was hurt. Like his efficiency was at it was a record efficiency in fantasy football. The problem lies in the fact that he was never healthy, and we saw Mostert just be a vulture with touchdowns the year before.
Yep. Right. It was very similar to the Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery thing they had going on.
Yep, and I never trusted it. Like I never trusted him, but the value was so good in some of these drafts that I picked him up, and it was surprising. It was a welcome surprise that he stayed healthy. Like I loved it because I always go. Like I'm an LSU fan. When Texas A&M ran all over LSU with him, like it killed me. But I was rooting for the guy because he was a good player. Mm-hmm. He was always hurt. Like you want good players to succeed, right? And this was a great year. I was glad he did it. Miami, whenever Tua's underneath center, they run the ball more than anybody. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like you hear Tua and you hear Waddle and you hear all these names, but they love to run the ball. And like Miami going in before Tua got hurt, I was expecting him to be 6-1. I was expecting to be 7-0
in hot weather games.
In hot weather games, There was the softest schedule of the week. They were going against the Patriots. Buffalo.
They knew they had to win those games.
Yeah, because they were going in tough, and I thought they were going to be in. Just Tua, that injury sidelined everybody, but it was really good to watch him come up. You're going to see him get drafted. He was going third round ADP last year. Mm-hmm. I expect that to be just the same this year.
Same.
Oh, without a doubt.
There are certain players out there, man, that when they run, certain running backs, when they run, don't look like their feet are even touching the ground. Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, this guy. And they run so smooth.
It's almost like it's effortless when you're going down there.
Right.
Knowing if you were running that fast, you'd be winded as can be.
Yeah. And I thought that something that got brought up later on is that, he's a different type of back than Gibbs. I mean, but they are similar in the size, speed,
catching ability.
Devon Achane, he's a little bit smaller. I mean, not size-wise, but he just looks smaller on the field.
He's shorter for sure.
Yeah, but he looks shiftier. He looks like he's got more explosive speed. And I think going forward, I mean, I don't think Mosert's going to be back. They drafted what's his name out of I think Florida last year in the third round. So they had a plan to get rid of Mostert this year, and I think it's going to happen. I think Tua is going to be healthier this year, and I think going forward, especially in a dynasty league, I know people picked him up left and right. Mm-hmm. This is going to be such a good dynasty pick going on if he can stay healthy. Yeah, and I was rooting for him all year, and I'm glad he did great.
Yeah, whoever has him in our dynasty league, they're not going to get rid of him.
No, why would you? I mean, I hope he could keep continually doing this year in and year out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him, to be honest with you, with all the injury past.
Number 12. That's my guy.
That's your guy.
Who do you got?
Alvin Kamara. And I know you guys, we're all Saints fans.
Yeah.
I love Alvin Kamara. These numbers, man, just tell you that he's on the decline. To me, these numbers say to me that he's on the decline.
He's still a successful year.
He had a successful year on a terrible team. But this shows me that the days of Kamara and Ingram,
that's
if you have a chance in this draft to get Ashton Jeanty, don't skip by this dude just because you need edge rushers or you need offensive line or you need defensive line. Get a guy you're gonna end up running the ball all the time with Derek Carr at quarterback. All your receivers are gonna be in the blue tent with Derek Carr at quarterback. You better have 2 or 3 solid running backs and just run the ball and keep the clock where you need it to be.
I hear some crazy rumors that Derek Carr won't be there.
I don't know how they could. They're going to end up paying that dude's.
No, it's a June 1st cut. You're only going to hit a $30 million hit compared to a $50 next year.
They're talking about sending him back to the Raiders.
Yeah, sending back to Las Vegas.
I don't know. He's not playing for the XFL. So Alvin Kamara's stats: 14 games. He stayed a little banged up. 228 attempts, 950 yards rushing, 4.2 yards per carry. Didn't break the 1,000 yards this time, but that's because he was hurt.
He was injured.
6 rushing touchdowns, and I think 3 of those were in one game, right?
Yep.
68 receptions, 543 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and of course the dude never fumbles the ball.
Yeah,
Never. That's one of his. That's what he hangs his hat on. He never fumbles the ball, and he runs effortlessly too, man. He's just getting up there in age. You got to have the young guy behind him. Do not skip past Jeanty. I will be so hurt if they do, because if Jeanty's there to take at that pick, you got to get him. You got to run 2 running backs.
Yeah,
man.
Keandre Miller's not the guy.
No, he's
Kendrick
definitely
Miller
not. He's not.
Had a
And
hurt.
Jamal Williams is out the door.
He's what 3 years in with the Saints and just no productivity whatsoever.
And they
Hamstring.
said the dude doesn't even want to learn the playbook. He doesn't do. He's one of them. They say he's one of those lazy type players. I don't know,
man.
but
Well, they got a new coach, so let's see what he's going
let's
to
see.
do.
He's going to build a team in his likeness.
I don't
Hopefully,
think
he builds it like the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put up with that.
But yeah, Kamara, I've always loved him. I'm a Saints fan, and Kamara's done what he could, but they missed their chance to trade Kamara to the Cowboys for a load.
Yeah, they could have got a lot last year.
It's just they're probably going to restructure. I assume they're going to restructure this contract, so he's going to at least be 31, 32 with the Saints, and I mean, he's probably going to retire a Saint. Hopefully, you're not going to draft. They're not going to draft. They can't waste the 9th pick with Jeanty though. What they're going to do is, considering he was hurt and everything though, like his productivity was amazing this year. Like he was hurt. The offensive line was in shambles. Half the time he had a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
The coach got fired. What I liked was
It was a dumpster fire.
it was a dumpster fire. And you know what you had? You had him, and that's it. Because you didn't have Olave. You didn't have Shaheed. You had Marcus Valdez-Scantling out there for 3 games. You had
Morrow is
Foster Moreau was the
Do
only
y'all
thing.
remember the online post where they were like, look, we're having tryouts for the Saints?
Just joking around.
And people actually showed up to the training center thinking it was real.
Yeah.
But it was an online joke. Here's the thing. It was a joke, and people thought it was real.
That's how bad it was. Kellen Moore came in, and he said, this is what he said about Derek Carr. He said Derek Carr is a quality starter. He's a good pro. What did he say about Alvin Kamara? He gave Alvin Kamara all the support in the world. Mm-hmm. So all that does is give me chill bumps. Like you giving that support to Alvin Kamara, like, we're going to boost this line. We still believe. We still have faith in our boy. Maybe the explosive speed's gone. Maybe he's not going to break off those 60 or 70-yard pass. But you know what? Alvin Kamara is going to get you in a PPR league. Like, his value is so much higher than it is in a standard league, because no matter what happens, that is a safety valve you can depend on catching the ball.
If you have him in a PPR league, you better hope Spencer Rattler is not your quarterback next year.
So it just by average, 68 receptions last year, Alvin Kamara would have gotten you around 4 to 5 points a game just off receptions.
Just off receptions.
Before yardage.
And he was hurt and almost got 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Like, let's not behind an offensive line that was trash.
Terrible.
Trash. I mean, it was hot garbage.
Subpar, I guess what we're
Penning.
saying.
I didn't remember they picked up the center when McCoy went out. They picked up the center. Was it Linscomb? I don't even know who his name
cares?
was. Yeah, he was out the couch, and like one guy's out there giving him it all, dude.
He still had the Dorito chips on his shirt.
It was the guy they were giving sandwiches to outside sleeping.
Yeah, and
Hey, you want to come play center?
You're a big guy. Come
It's right
fill it up.
outside. I'll come play.
on a PPR around 5th round, I am always looking for Alvin Kamara. I am always looking for him in a PPR. Like,
I'm not saying anything negative about him.
I know one thing. Like, if I'm looking for starters, I know I can always put him running back 2 or flex, and I got a chance to win that week, because if he's there. I remember, what was it? That one game against Tampa Bay where Derek Carr had happy feet. He didn't know where to go. He threw the ball to Kamara for 13 times. Like, that's 13 points.
Check down.
Check down. Like, that's 13 points. Like, and it's sad. It's sad that we're wasting my boy's talent. I want to give him a hug. I want to go chase thick white women with him. but unfortunately, he doesn't have an offensive line, and we can't get out there in the public with each other.
I think they missed a opportunity to make a haul in the draft by trading him.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hold on to somebody forever. I understand he's one of the greatest things.
AK-41. I love you, man. AK-41.
And I know you guys hope he retires as a Saint. I do not. I hope he's with the Raiders or somebody next year.
Oh God,
I gotta have the haul. I gotta have it.
That boy wants Ashton Genty.
I would be crying.
I want Genty.
I want Will Clapp.
All right.
Give me the clap, baby. Will Clapp, LSU. We won him at number 9.
Number 11.
Mr. Bucky Irving. If I was so psyched about this pick, at the draft, and I saw the writing on the wall because I had Rachaad White the year before, and if it wasn't for PPR points, Rachaad White would have been hot garbage. Mm-hmm. And I went and I got Bucky Irving, and I said, I can't wait. And then what happened? Week 15 happened. Week 12, after the bye happened. And then Bruce Irvin, baby. Bruce Irvin came on. They said Rachaad White, hold his beer. Rachaad White came out. Was on fire. Rachaad White, when he came out, 36% of the time, he was missing. People were tackling him, missed tackle. 30% of the time, the highest rate from the 12, that week 12 bye week on his year 2, he's coming out. He is going to be the lead back. Yep. He is going to be on fire. He was hurt. He still kept playing. He was not going to give this job up. And
that's Bucky Irving's job now.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Like, his shin was hurt. His shoulder was up. They're going in the playoffs. Hey, give me the ball. Feed me the rock. You couldn't bring him down.
Nope.
And he took that job over, man. And I was so excited for Bucky Irving when he came out.
Wanted it.
Well, yeah, he did. And
he has no weakness. He runs hard. He doesn't fumble the ball. He can catch the ball.
Catches the ball.
He doesn't go down at first contact like Rachaad White does.
No.
The dude runs through contact. He's the perfect running back. So I don't know what you have bad to say about this guy. Nobody should have anything bad to say about this guy. No, it's his job.
I would get aggravated.
I think that if Tampa didn't lose all their receivers early, they'd be a lot further along in the playoffs.
Oh, man.
They could have been. I mean,
if Godwin would have still been
there. You know, speaking of that, they're talking to Godwin now about an extension. Yeah. Like, they like this team, and I don't blame them.
Right.
Like, if they were healthy.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But Godwin probably won't be ready till mid-season, and they're still talking to him. That means they know this guy brings something to the table that they need.
There's a lot they can pick up,
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all didn't get him in a dynasty league, you have to go get him this year. He's only 22, his second year. I got him going in next year, like Bucky Irving. He's got to be he's going to take over this lead role. Rachaad White's maybe just going to be seen on third downs.
Right.
I got him as probably my 15th pick. My 15th
ADP
best
overall.
ADP overall, probably 15th to 20th.
Yeah, I can see that.
Second round, early third. Like, I want Bucky Irving.
He's number 11 here for 2024.
That's Joe's number 2 running back pick.
I'm putting him at number 6 for running backs coming out next year. Because all of Rachaad White's stats, you can put them right here.
Yeah.
And he's going to do more with them. So, yeah, I mean, this eight rushing touchdowns, that could be 11 or 12 rushing touchdowns next year.
Now, there is something to say. Liam Cohen did leave. He's going to Jacksonville. But they just promoted up, so they're not going to change this offense.
Run, pass.
And Baker had an amazing year. Like, you have to have faith in Baker going forward.
Man, I wish we would have brought him over to the Saints.
Godwin's healthy. You got to think this year.
Maybe
you got the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, we can trade. We'll trade for him when he's 41.
Hey, Derek,
we'll get a 41-year-old.
You need to go to Florida to get some sun.
Bucky
send
Irving.
Baker on over.
There's a few guys.
Red Rover, send Baker on over.
We take him.
You've got the mainstay studs like Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, guys like that. This guy is gonna stir up that whole mix right.
That was his rookie year, and they had that 12-week bye, and then from then on, he just took over, and there was no looking back.
The only thing stopping him is an injury, and I hope it doesn't happen.
And it was double digits from week 13 on to week 17. It was double-digit fantasy points, like consistency. Like, you knew it was coming. Like, hey, ding, guaranteed, stamp guaranteed on it. You know what I get? I'm getting double digits from Bucky.
There you go.
That's my boy, Bucky's
number 10.
Aaron Jones, guys.
old
Jones. I mean, he moved over from Green Bay to the Vikings, and he didn't miss a beat. Posted career high marks and carries and rushing yards in the first season with the Vikings. He was a dual threat player out of the backfield. He's still showing his age. He got 1,138 rushing yards off of 255 attempts. He played 17 games. He had 4.5 yards per carry, 5 rushing touchdowns with 51 receptions, 408 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns. He did fumble 3 times. But I think when the season started, this team had their stuff together. As the season progressed, I don't know if they kept trying to change up the way they played or what.
Yeah.
And it just got
It went from him carrying
worse.
the ball 20 times a game to him carrying the ball 10 to 12 times a game, and it didn't work out.
Right. And they didn't get it to Justin Jefferson like they
No.
were supposed to.
You got a stud behind him, Ty Chandler. They didn't do anything with him.
Right.
So
Actually, they brought in another running back, and he started having production that I never thought would ever happen.
I never thought it either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, he did great. I still see Bucky Irving way before him.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
This is just the stats because of they leaned on Aaron Jones so hard at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
They leaned on him hard. The offense completely went through him, just like Joe Mixon, with the Texans. Aaron Jones is older, the fumble issues, but he's still going to be top 15 running back next year. Even though he's an older guy, you can count on him. The dude played 17 games this year.
he's going to be 31 now next year. He's going to be 31.
He's lost a little explosiveness.
It looked. I tell you what. Whenever I watch the Vikings play, it looked like Kevin O'Connell. It looks like that system works with anybody, right?
Right.
It looks like almost like the Rams system or like the 49ers. We can put anybody back there. And I didn't think that, but Ty Chandler, they put Ty Chandler back there the year before when they have nobody.
Looked great,
and he ran the ball. Mm-hmm. Aaron Jones, I understand they got him. He's got experience, and the Vikings. You can't take anything away from this season.
Right.
What they did this year is amazing compared to Sam Darnold's going to get paid for what they did this year, and I think part of the problem is going down the field was pressure got to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
pressure.
He's going to get paid, but he lost about $20 million of that paycheck
in the last couple games because he was just taking sacks and sacks and sacks. Mm-hmm. And there's something to be said for defense too because they did have their number one ranked defense. But you have to think that with this running back class in this draft, and look, they got a rookie quarterback coming in that they probably have faith in. We're going to see what they do. Mm. They did push back Aaron Jones's date to be a free agent. We don't know if they're going to re-sign him.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, they can void him.
Right.
They can void that contract if they want, right? And they move back the date. So I assume they're probably just waiting for the draft. And if they can get, it may be something you get one of these top running backs that falls to the Vikings, then you might as well void that contract. Can we say, for instance, all right, so look, running backs, you got 2 running backs coming out of Ohio State going in the 3rd round that would normally go in the 2nd or 1st this year. Austin Jancy is supposed to go in the top 10, but if he falls to the Vikings, would you re-sign this guy? If you got Austin Jancy?
No.
What if they're able to trade up?
The money doesn't add up for the money.
It's not like the Vikings need a lot of pieces.
Right.
And they got...
But if they're going to go J.J. McCarthy, they better have as many running backs as they can get.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because in college, all he
did was run the ball.
Run.
And Kevin... Look, that's what they like to do. They like that. And you got Addison who came on last year. You got Jefferson, arguably
Jefferson,
the best running wide receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you were to move up and you got Jancy or you waited and you raced a little bit, but you got 2. You got running backs deep. Cam Scadaboo's going in the 5th round. Cam Scadaboo is a amazing running back. You can pick him up to. Nobody would be mad if you picked him up in the 3rd.
Tight end playing running back.
It's so it's so
boy
deep.
got anger issues.
Yeah, it's so deep that if you saw them do this, why not? He's 30. He's going to be 30. He's going to be going on 31. This is a running back deep class. I have to watch to see what happens because he's older. When they got down, when the season went down, when they went and played Detroit destroyed them, right?
Yeah, that wasn't Aaron Jones' fault.
No, that was not Aaron Jones.
That was play calls.
When they got in the red zone, they struggled.
They struggled. And where I would thought they would be was where Aaron Jones ate. And I think maybe age and maybe a 17-game season.
Yep.
Right? 17 games
17 games is a lot.
17 games is a lot to be getting hit when you're 30, 31 years old. And you predominantly run and play defense. That's tough. That's tough sledding. So depending on the team, because we still don't know if he's in Minnesota, I have him somewhere in the 7th round this year.
Okay.
I mean, I have him falling this year.
He would be a flex or a bench player for me next year.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like a high-end flex.
He's not my 1-2 running back.
There's way too much power coming out in this draft.
Exactly.
And they're going to start immediately.
And I have to start thinking about that going forward. Exactly.
Number 9, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon.
That was my boy this
Your
year.
guy. Yeah. So I always liked Joe Mixon. I thought he was great with the Bengals this year. 14 games. He stayed a little banged up.
Yep.
245 attempts, 1,016 rushing yards, 4.1 yards per carry. Seemed like he ran harder than that. But, 11 touchdowns. When they got to the red zone, it was his ball. 36 receptions, 309 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and he did his thing. He never fumbles the ball. Let's see. Joe Mixon did great with the Bengals. He was looking for that paycheck, and he got it. Ran the offense through him just like they did in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
This is what the guy is, man. You know, he's great at protecting the quarterback, even though I mean you can't keep all the defensive line off of CJ. But
I remember a couple of games watching him, and he would look over at the coaches and be like, "Let me do this," you know. And there was a couple they didn't give to him, and there was a couple of them he ran right in there.
I don't know what.
There was a couple callbacks I remember. They called the touchdown back for whatever reason, flag or whatever, and he ran the exact same play and got a touchdown.
Yep.
The dude's unstoppable, man. And he's an older guy too. He's year 8, just like Kamara, just like Aaron Jones. It just seems like he runs younger than those two guys to me.
Yeah, and it's probably the way he takes care of himself. I think next year he has a productive year, same like this year, just maybe one step slower.
I don't know. I
don't think they change up their running game.
Joe Mixon has never been over a top 7 running back to me.
Yeah.
But as my second running back or my flex guy, I'll take him every time.
I got him late 3rd round.
Yeah.
I'm going to have him late 3rd round.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah, that's where I got him. Maybe 38 to 45 is somewhere around that rankings. I know he ended up a little banged up at the end of the season, but he played. I mean, the playoffs, like you're playing the playoffs, and he did. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Stephon Diggs. We see what he did without Stephon Diggs, so I don't know if that even affects him. They got a new offensive coordinator because they fired. Forgive me, but they fired him because they didn't like the growth of C.J. Stroud.
It's hard to grow when the entire defensive line is in your lap.
They got to shore up the line, right?
Yeah.
And I think if they shore up the line, that just is better news for the whole team.
They have no choice but to keep Joe Mixon around.
And
the offense runs through them. They have to shore up their offensive line. They're going to have to take 3 offensive linemen this year. They're going to have to take 3 of them.
I hope they do.
Yeah, if you were to try to better this team right here, the weaknesses are not at their running back position.
Nope. And I'm not a Stephon Diggs fan, but the dude is talented. You bring him back in the building too.
Yeah, if they can get him back,
keep the team exactly the way it is, and just bring some offensive linemen in.
I mean, let's just be honest. Tank Dale injury was
that
terrible.
Was nasty.
And
I
don't know how you don't bring him back after looking at that. Yeah. Like all of a sudden, if you're Houston, you had all this hope, and then, all right, Stroud took a step back. Right. Your offensive line kind of struggled. You play in an easy division. Y'all play. D'Amico Ryans has a great defense, and D'Amico Ryans knows how to win in this league.
Right.
But you've got to shore up a couple things. You got to get another wide receiver now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Xavier Hutchinson's not the guy.
Yeah, you got to go get another wide receiver. You got to shore up that offensive line.
Yep.
And if you do those 2 things, I think that Joe Mixon just takes off where he was.
Right.
It's just hope. And you can win that division again. It's going to be. You should be where you are, but we go into this season with a lot more question marks about Houston than we did before, because I remember we were all excited, like, Houston, C.J. Stroud, second year. And look, they got a better back.
Yes, C.J. Stroud is too good a quarterback.
Yeah.
Way too good a quarterback.
And too young for y'all to be wasting it with this.
They had elite wide receivers.
Yep.
They had Dalton Schultz as tight end.
He's an older guy. I'm hoping that they go get someone like Tyler Warren or something like that, because he's still going to be on the offensive line. But
oh, my God.
Tyler Warren is a...
He's great. I think Tyler, he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he won't last that long.
Yeah, he ain't lasting that long.
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
Yep.
And then, like you guys said, I mean, they just couldn't perform. It didn't matter. I mean, even from day one, C.J. Stroud just couldn't get the ball out of the backfield.
2.3 seconds.
It didn't matter.
2.3 seconds, man.
Yeah.
Before the defense is in your lap.
And I mean, look.
That's almost like Matador. Just like, go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
what it looks like.
And they got to
yeah.
stay healthy at wide receiver. Not only that, I mean, look, even Nico was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Even Nico was hurt certain times this year.
And it's not like CJ was throwing them into being hurt.
No.
Those were tackles.
Exactly.
Those were tackle injuries.
Well, like I was saying, Dalton Schultz, I know you say he's older. That's true. But he's still very talented.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't utilize him.
No.
They didn't utilize him at all.
Well, they got a new offensive coordinator.
So that's probably why they brought that guy in.
Yep.
But Joe Mixon was a good pick by you when you took him.
Yep. All right, who's next?
Oh,
Who do I got?
James Cook.
Mr. James Cook. I'm going to put the Mr. in front of him. That dude had 17, 18 touchdowns this year.
This is my boy. This is my boy going in. Like, I love James Cook going in. Like, I loved everything Buffalo had wrapped around him. I love the way he caught the ball in the field. It was his third year. I remember every time the round came back, I was salivating about him. I was like, oh, yes, 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 yes. And we had a 28-game sample going in, and all he did, 5.5 average fantasy football points per game. He was a RB1 that you got for an RB fourth round, fifth round. I remember drafting, and I remember the Jonathan Taylors going by, and I'm like, yes, 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 fifth round. He's only 25 years old, okay? He's only 25 years old. He has got to be, he's my number 5 running back this year. 17 touchdowns. The value going in was so good on James Cook. And look, his touchdowns, he went 2 rushing touchdowns to this many. And he's playing with a rushing quarterback. Joe Brady, I remember when they said Joe Brady's going to run this offense. The next year, I just knew it. I knew fifth round. I'm going to get this guy 6th round. And they gave him an extension, $15 million per year. They're going to pay him. He's young.
He deserves more than that.
This is a Buffalo team with Joe Brady. Joe Brady said, I'm not leaving. I want a ring. You got the second best quarterback in the league behind Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're running that offense, and the design play they had.
Who got the MVP?
Hold on. You kind of lost me on that last thing.
What?
I'm just going to take a breath.
Something about the greatest quarterback
in the league? Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, that's not the guy.
Yeah, he is. He's so good. He's so amazing.
And we got to remember, James Cook had Ray Davis behind him.
Yeah.
And he was running.
Ray Davis can run the ball. They run the ball.
They are the perfect match.
They run the ball. It doesn't. Hey. They run the ball. Look at their weapons. Look at their offensive weapons. When they got Khalil Shakur catches everything.
But he's small.
He's small, but he's yak. He depends on his yards. It's all yak yards after catch. They tried to bring in a number 1. They were nothing.
Keon Coleman looks like a failed experiment.
First year was all right. It's what you expect out of a rookie, but I don't see him becoming a number 1.
I'm saying he hits that sophomore slump, boy.
No, he's not a number 1.
And this is. I'm starting to think if running backs go like they are, because you got to think Saquon's going to go and Derrick Henry's going to go in that first round, and if I'm sitting there, and you're going to have some options, you're going to have Gibbs,
Kyren Williams.
Yeah, you're going to have Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams didn't share a backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs kind of shares a backfield. James Cook. Ray Davis might vulture something here and there, and Josh Allen's going to vulture something there, but this dude catches the ball. He can take it to the house from anywhere.
Yeah.
Give me that explosion.
No fear going across the middle of the field.
And I love him. This is one of my favorite players watching. And he's young. And it's like he doesn't. There's no negative plays. I don't see him make negative plays. Like every time he gets the ball, just nothing but good things happen. Like that, and I can say that about the whole Bills team. Like, hey, Khalil Shakir, small, right?
Yep.
But when he get the ball in his hands, he catches it,
Never drops it.
never drops it, and he yards after catch. James Cook catches the ball. Hey, he's always falling forward. All right. Hey, he's got a nose for the end zone.
Yep.
Like, give me these guys. Josh Allen, give me these guys.
Hey.
Take them. I take them.
All right. Numero 7.
Kyren Williams. I had this guy in one of our leagues, and he was awesome. The same league
Quietly awesome.
I had him with Joe Mixon, to be exact. And he played 16 games, 316 attempts, 1,299 rushing yards, 4.1 yards per carry, 14 rushing touchdowns, 34 receptions, 182 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns. He did fumble 3 times.
Yeah.
Man, it was just great to watch this guy. He was very impactful to the team. That team struggled with wide receivers on and off all season.
Yeah.
They got Cooper Kupp and
Puka
Nacua back. And next thing you know, 1 or 2 games later, they're back to doing the same old thing. At one point, they used Kyren Williams as the guy that they pounded the ball through, and he got wore out.
Yeah,
but he never failed. He didn't go out. He, I really kind of see him somewhere along the lines of round 3 next year.
I got him 2.
Round 3.
I got him 2
for a guy who carries the ball 316 times. I'm going early 2.
You think he's early 2?
I'm going early 2.
I think he's late 2, early 3.
But you're right, though. He did kind of fizzle there toward the end. Because he was wore out, man. The dude carried the ball 25, 27 times a game.
Well, they rested him before the playoffs.
Yeah,
Okay, they rested him that week before the playoffs. What I don't know is, so Cooper Kupp's on the trading block.
Yep.
All right. You don't know if Matt Stafford's going to be back.
There's some teams that are interested in Matt Stafford.
Some teams?
They're trying to fish him away.
You don't know if he's coming back because they're going to try to get younger. Their defense, what they did on that, the Rams legitimately right now with Jared Verse and all those first round picks that just came in and just dominated. They can legitimately run the ball and play defense.
Yeah, they can go safety later in the draft or something. Their front defensive line is set.
And
they're good.
It doesn't seem like there's these teams like San Francisco or the Rams, they get in the system, they take these backup quarterbacks and they turn them into something.
Yeah.
Like Sam Darnold.
So Jimmy Garoppolo might be a superstar next year.
Hey, it could be something you know what I'm saying? But they have a tendency to do this. Sam Darnold went from there. Look, he went to Minnesota. He ran that thing.
Baker Mayfield.
That week 17, if you watch, this is Baker on Netflix. He talks about hey, that season, those couple of games, that saved his career.
He knew his career depended on it.
And he said it. He said that they saved my career. And look at him. And look, they just go and get people. Hey, we're going to reconstruct you. Maybe they see something in the backup. And they're
and Derek Carr.
You talking about Blake Corum? Or
no,
you talking about Garoppolo?
Garoppolo. Oh, no.
There's a game manager there
Blake
for Garoppolo.
Corum's going to be a threat next year.
Blake Corum's going to be. They're going to have a 1-2 combo.
He's not going to be a threat because they're going to need to be a 1-2 combo because if Garoppolo takes over, all they're doing is running the ball. Well, that's it.
They're. I think it's going to get to where they fish. They're seeing what they can get for Stafford.
Yep.
I mean, this is getting spoken.
Pittsburgh did make an offer. And it was let known to them that they want a first-round pick.
For Matt Stafford.
Plus,
at his age.
Plus stuff.
But,
yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't know. I think I might give it up.
I mean, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. He's a competitor. But
not only that, for his age, he's still got one of the strongest arms in the NFL.
Yep.
Arm talent alone.
The ball last year.
George Pickens.
Yeah.
I would love to see somebody with some savvy getting the ball to my boy Pickens over there.
Steelers are kind of like the Saints. I mean, what are you going to do? You got bad quarterback play all around. So.
I mean, and you got weapons. You got Calvin Austin. You got Pickens. I mean, why not? You got Jalen Warren.
They may be a little trade for Kupp and for Stafford over to the Steelers.
The smart thing for the Rams to do is to sign him for one more year because next year's quarterback class coming out of college is deep.
Big. You can have Arch. You can have Nuss.
They probably should wait
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
should wait and sign him for one more. But,
But
we'll see.
Kyren Williams will be a valuable threat next year.
Oh, yeah.
I've got him in the second round.
I got him early.
I've got him
second.
early.
Y'all go get him.
Yeah,
will.
I've got him early, and especially if I find out, hey, they traded Stafford and Cup. I'm like, yeah, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. They got to lean on him.
The only way I won't get him early is if this next guy is there.
Who's that?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I have faith in him going
Man,
forward.
this dude right here, man.
I have faith with him going forward.
So he only played 14 games, 303 attempts, 1,431 rushing yards, 4.7 yards per carry, 11 rushing touchdowns, and that was getting vultured half the season. 18 receptions, 136 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 1 fumble. And I believe that was a wide open field fumble, wasn't it? I think I don't remember, but so he went to the Pro Bowl, well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved.
Jonathan Taylor is a beast, man, and it's all about that quarterback play. He can't keep getting vultured by the quarterback for easy touchdowns. 2-yard, 3-yard touchdowns.
Well, I tell you like this: he played 14 games, right?
Yep.
He got 1,400 yards.
Yep.
And some change, right? He did not come on to the end of the season.
Yeah. Halfway through the season is when he got almost all of this.
I think it was 3 quarters. Yeah, but I mean, it was within the last 5 games he got all this, and he's the one who saved my season in the standard league because that's when he started dominating. But
Right.
it's like you're saying. I mean, he got screwed at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he did.
Well, this is a part of the reason why was because of the evolution of the Packers' offense. So they were throwing the ball early,
the Colts.
early and often. I mean,
the Colts.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean they were throwing the ball. They ran the ball with Anthony Richardson early and often, right?
Yep.
All right. Excuse me. And then look, it was Anthony Richardson. It was Anthony Richardson, and they said, "Look, we're struggling. We can't do it."
Joe Flacco.
Right.
Joe Flacco, right? And the pass efficiency went up. All right. Pittman started getting the ball. We started seeing running lanes open. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they said, look, Flacco started throwing picks like he did. And they were making a push, right? They started winning some games in a row. They
Yep.
started throwing picks. All right. Took him out. They said, we got to simplify this. And I don't know what happened between Richardson pulling himself out the game that fourth quarter or whatever.
Terrible.
I would have lost my mind.
He wouldn't have been on my team no more.
Yeah, me neither. Shane Steichen, you're a better man than me.
The dude's not talented enough to do that.
If somebody quits on me, yeah,
It's over with.
It's over with. But they somehow got him back in there, and they made a playoff push. And Anthony Richardson was, in spite of Anthony Richardson play.
That boy lucky that Kittle wasn't on his team. Remember when those guys quit on him?
Yeah.
And Kittle chewed them out. You can get off my team.
This team is going to hold on to this Anthony Richardson hope too long, and it's going to bite them. This team should be looking at Matt Stafford and do away
You may be right about that.
away
I
with
actually
the
like
Anthony
that.
Richardson.
That's a great one.
Michael Pittman would not suffer.
Because Stafford doesn't run very much.
No.
That would give Jonathan Taylor a lot of leg room.
I'm telling you. And the dump off passes that he does, Jonathan Taylor will eat it up. 7 games last year, he rushed for over 100 yards.
Yep.
3 games he didn't even play.
I know it.
1 game he had over 200 yards. The dude is an animal, man. This quarterback is hurting him.
This guy, oh man, the Colts are messing up so bad. Remember, he won a league for you. The dude
Yeah.
was the number
Yes,
one
yes.
running back that year.
Absolutely.
And then they wouldn't pay him. He had to sit out 3 games. He had to sit out 3 games for him to get respect.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he was still productive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got him right here.
Let's not pay our best asset.
Let's not. Yeah,
Sounds like the Giants.
man. And then you got this guy. You can control the game with this guy. You got a rookie quarterback. You got a Donnie Mitchell. You got Michael Pittman. You got these weapons on the outside. You got Alec Pierce. These boys can run. Hey, man, let's just run the ball. Let's play action.
Yep.
Let's calm down. Let's build this through this guy.
I mean, your team's not good enough. You need to be controlling the clock.
And you're right.
You need to run straight through them.
I was watching Red Zone. I had Red Zone right here. I had 3 TVs, 4 TVs. It seemed like every week I turned. Jonathan Taylor touchdown. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the season?
At the end of the
Yeah, buddy.
season.
And all he's doing is showing them, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Give me the ball.
Even week 18, their playoff hope slim, 24-22. Hey, They give him the ball, he scores.
I don't care who's quarterback next year. It would help if it was someone like Stafford or someone like that. But this dude, he was number 6 this year. He's my number 3 running back next year. I'm going to tell you right now, this dude is going to have 13 rushing touchdowns next year, and he's probably going to be 1,600 yards.
And talent-wise,
1,700.
Talent-wise, he can take it to the outside.
Anytime.
He rivals Saquon talent-wise.
Now, he's not one of those guys who glides across the field.
No.
This guy stomps across the field.
He almost reminds me like almost a Le'Veon Bell. Like he can stop.
Yes.
Very good.
He like stops and he runs and he catches the ball out the backfield.
Stop on a dime.
Patient, boom. Like
he's got a little skip in the backfield.
Yeah.
Right before he hits the hole, he kind of has this little pause, and if he doesn't like it, audible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If they do him like they did this year, even though he did great, but they're gonna waste this guy's most productive years. If they do him like this again, this dude's gonna be trying to push his way out of. And he should.
He should. And
I agree.
And I don't think Shane Steichen will let it happen.
This dude should be in the conversation with Barkley.
I agree.
Oh,
yes,
he should be the same guy.
Man, he had that. He almost had that year Barkley had that year he won that league.
Right.
And we were all going in the next year. Grab him. And he missed 3 games. Like he had to hold out.
Yep.
I was just sick to my stomach. Oh, man. It's just, I don't know, man.
Next.
That's it.
Next. Oh, that's
it.
it. Okay. That's it.
That's
man,
it.
I keep on wanting to keep going, man.
Just keep on going.
Well,
we
that's
love
because
these
we're
running
getting
backs.
in the bread and butter,
Running
bro.
backs are my thing, man.
We're getting in the bread and butter, bro.
That's it.
I can't wait to get into the wide receivers, though.
Yeah.
I want to be able to show everybody why the running backs are so much more important than the wide receivers. A lot of people don't agree with me, but they are.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something.
There's an argument that
Every game, your running back's gonna get an opportunity. Not every game will your wide receiver get an opportunity.
Yeah, unless it's like Mike Evans or somebody like that.
Mike Evans will score double digits. You know that last year it was like only one. What was it? 2 years ago. I'm sorry. It was only one player scoring averaging a touchdown a game, and it was CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
And
Really?
that didn't happen this year.
No.
We didn't already see that. Oh, it was through week 12, and he didn't score. It was King Henry. King Henry was averaging a touchdown a game.
Talking about this year?
Yeah,
This
this
year.
year.
This year,
And
yeah.
last year it was
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. All that talk about King Henry falling off age-wise and
showed
usage. No, that dude takes too much care of his body, man. That dude might be 45 years old. Gray beard running in touchdowns.
Consensus number 1 pick. Are you going running back, wide receiver?
Oh, absolutely running back.
Running back?
It's Charles Barkley. It's Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You going running back?
Running backs first.
You're going running back no matter what this year,
Yep.
first round. I'm still going to go ADP. I'm still going to go ADP.
Stubborn, man. You are stubborn.
I can't. I just like value.
Values in your running back.
Tell us who y'all are going to go.
Man.
Y'all have a
Hey, I'm
pick?
telling you now.
When
you need
is
to
it-
tell Chad it's running back first.
Yeah.
When-
It's Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's the way we got to run it.
Ooh, that's a
Number
good one.
4. Number 4, I can't say. If I got number 4, I can't say no to
Kyren
Jamar
Williams.
Chase.
Kyren Williams.
I'm taking Jamar Chase before I take Kyren
You
Williams.
taking that over 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns?
Who did Jamar Chase do last year with Joe Burrow with that offensive line?
True.
Okay.
That is true.
Look at
Can't
that
argue
defensive line.
I will
Look at that
never
defensive
ever.
line.
I will
Exactly.
I'll never see CeeDee Lamb. I'll never see Jamar Chase. I'll never see Justin Jefferson because I draft 2 running backs.
Yeah, you will. They're on TV.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll
y'all.
watch 'em on TV.
Yeah. We're coming to you from Next Level Studios. Just give you a heads up. We got some more stuff coming out the bank. We're going to finish our running back next week, and we're going to go into wide receivers. Like our merch, like and subscribe. And y'all, we got a Shamrock run. It goes out to a local organization here. It's a 5K for elementary kids. They go out. A lot of kids, they don't have a lot of money, and this is the way they get involved with the community and everything. If you go to our Facebook, you'll like it, subscribe, see if y'all can come run with us. We'll be all out there. We're sponsoring that event, and it's a good cause to go to these kids. So
we'll be out there.
we'll be out there.
Yep.
So y'all come run with us, come support these kids, at least come say hello, and come look at some of the stuff we have coming down the pipe. Okay.
All right. And next week, we're going to close it out for you with top 5 running backs.
Yep.
I'm Nick Tate,
Joe Calder.
And I'm the Cadillac.
and we're out.
Smashmouth Footballers.
This ain't no regular thing. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right. This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. This is my city, yeah, this is my team.
Music license.